Greetings, ladies and gents. Today we talk Shrouded. The new Affix coming in patch 925 or season 4 or I don't know how it works.
Same, but different.
So let's get into this. So yes, we are talking patch 925 PTR in this video, specifically the new Season 4 Affix, which is on the PTR, but is not actually bound to 925. Yeah, at some point Season 4 will happen, and it doesn't have to happen at the same time as 925.
What did you say?
Don't ask, I don't know, it's just what it is. But let's get straight into what is the Shrouded Affix going to be. We're hidden around the dungeon are the Nathrazim. Those damn Nathrazim. They're disguised as other mobs. Now worry not, they're going to be pretty easy to spot, let's be honest about this. Not only will they have like this kind of black cloud, like this smoke going around them, they will also have the disguised buff on them. So it should be pretty easy if you want to set up whatever nameplates you've got. You can just set up a different colour for these guys and you'll be able to spot them straight away. Now currently there are two mobs that can be hidden. The first and the most common is the Nathrazim Infiltrator. Currently, this thing has less health than normal mob, so you should just be able to nuke this down so fast. Of course, this is subject to change. This is on PTR, the health may need to be balanced, whatever. The Nathrazim Infiltrator comes with 3 abilities. First up is Vampiric Claws. They strike the target, inflicting X shadow damage, and they heal themselves for 250% of the damage dealt. Next up is Carrion Swarm, inflicting X shadow damage to enemies in front of the Dreadlord and reducing healing that you receive by 35% for 10 seconds. Nightmare Cloud. By the way, all these are good names. Creates a wandering nightmare cloud. Coming into contact with a nightmare cloud inflicts players with nightmare. A player affected by nightmare falls into a deep sleep. Simple enough. Now, the Infiltrator is not the only thing that we'll be facing. There is also a Nathrazim mini-boss, Zolgamux. This is a tougher Nathrazim that will be at a set location, and has the following abilities. Shadow Claws. Zol's claws are empowered, inflicting X additional shadow damage every 1 second for 12 seconds. This effect, it is worth noting, stacks. Yeah, so that's going to be a fun one. Also worth noting, though, it is a magical debuff, so it can be dispelled. Very nice. Blood Barrier. Zol shields herself in a barrier of blood and begins siphoning blood from her enemies, inflicting X shadow damage every 0.5 seconds and healing for a percentage of that amount. Blood Barrier absorbs the next X damage and grants immunity to interrupts. Shadow Eruption. Unleashes a powerful Shadow Eruption, inflicting X shadow damage and reducing healing received by 70% for 10 seconds. You're starting to see a reoccurring theme here. It's basically the Infiltrator's abilities, but like jacked way up. But last, this is the funnest. Hypnosis Bat. Summons a Hypnosis Bat to put a player into a terrifying state of hypnosis. Hypnosis places a player in a Shadowy Barrier and sends the player into hypnosis. Hypnosis inflicts shadow damage every 1 second and causes the player to become hostile to allies until hypnosis is broken. We'll get onto that in a second. But last but by no means least, Shadowy Barrier. Absorbs damage and keeps the player in a hostile state of hypnosis, suffering X shadow damage every 1 second till hypnosis is broken. Now, here's the thing on hypnosis. It has a slightly interesting effect. It isn't a traditional loss of control. Your character basically enables friendly fire. Not only can you now hit allies and damage them with your abilities, but you can also be hurt by your allies. So yeah, if you're just a happy-go-lucky melee doing your thing and all of a sudden there's a survival hunter in there popping off, there's a chance you could die if you have hypnosis on you. So we've gone through the dungeon and we've been killing Nathrazim left, right and centre, but what's the point? What is the cherry on the cake? What is the carrot on the stick? Why are we doing this? Well, at the start of the dungeon you'll be able to talk to a member of the cartel and able to select the buff that you would prefer. There are 4 options, and basically they're the 4 secondaries. You can have 2% crit, 2% haste, 2% verse, or 2% mastery. Once selected, you'll be given 1 stack straight away just for selecting it. Then, for every Nathrezim infiltrator you kill, you gain another stack. Once you kill the big girl, Zul, you gain 3 stacks. Now it appears, on average, you will end your run with about 10 stacks, giving you 20% of your selected stack. Not only will you gain the stat buff, but upon killing these Nathrezim, you will gain 6% health and mana every 1 second for 5 seconds. That's just for the basic Nathrezim infiltrator. Killing Zul will give you 20% health and mana every 1 second for 5 seconds. Now granted, to many these may seem like, actually this is a really boring Affix script. This doesn't, like, it's just a run-of-the-mill type thing. But here's what you need to bear in mind. When Season 4 drops, our dungeon rotation is going to change. Like, to the point where they're actually adding portals in Oribus to these new dungeon areas. We're going to be facing, as we do now, the Streets of Wonder and Soli's Gambit from Tazavesh. But, thrown into the mix, we're going to have Operation Mechagon Junkyard, Operation Mechagon Workshop, Return to Karazhan Upper and Lower, and then to go with these once mega dungeons, we will also have the Iron Docks and finally Grimrail Depot from Warlords of Draenor. And these dungeons are going to be new to a lot of players, especially in M+ setting. We've never seen Iron Docks or Grimrail Depot in a kind of M+ world. The others have been, but there's going to be players that this is going to be a whole new challenge. The idea of, you know, they've just spent Shadowlands learning all the pathing, learning exactly what they need to do in these current dungeons, and now they're going to be, you know, having to work out what the hell they're doing in Karazhan. Now, what am I doing in Workshop? To add a whole new complex affix for the final season of Shadowlands, maybe a little bit unfair on Blizzard's part. I get it, if you're a veteran, this is a nothingness. This is something that you're just going to be like, fine, we nuke this mob, it just means we can do massive pulls. When we nuke the Nathrezim, it's going to heal us, great, okay, fine, whatever, it's kind of a fire and forget. Now, I will say, it is a shame that given the fact that we're now apparently working with the cartel, we don't get a cartel-style mount, Blizz? Which I think is a real shame, because some of the cartel stuff looks really cool. We've got the disc from Tazavesh, but what about the big flying boats? The one we go to Tazavesh in? That would be cool mount. Maybe like a 5-person mount, if you could do it. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there, Blizz.
Hell no, to the no.
Don't get me wrong. I like the purple version that we've got for doing Keystone Master in Season 4. But just, the model's already there for the big boat. Come on. As I say, I'm not complaining about the purple elemental looking thing. It's a hell of a lot better than what we were going to get. But, a big boat. But that's it. That is Shroud, our Season 4 affix. It doesn't really seem that it's going to have much of an impact in terms of dealing with mobs. But the stat boost should be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see what people come up with in terms of just how mad and crazy you can go. We're going to have Season 4 end level gear. We're going to have all of our legendaries. We'll be able to get all sorts of crazy fun things from raids now, because all the raids are being brought back up. Yeah. Is it going to be corruption levels? No, of course not. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what crazy things people will do with this one. But thank you for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Laters.